chaotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Of his most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch. Welcome back, y'all, to a brand new episode of Jaja's Atelier, and welcome to any new subscribers. We got a few since the last episode. Thank you for looking out. Love ya. And it's always a pleasure to welcome back my A1 Day Ones. So listen, I don't know where y'all live at, whoever's watching, but those of y'all who are watching me that see this, that live, anywhere in the southern half of the United States, girl, are y'all buying that this is a real storm, or do you think this is a scheme that the MAGA administration done set up to get us to go out there and buy all these goddamn extra groceries only for it to be 90 degrees tomorrow and 107 degrees on Sunday? You know the economy is tanking. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Yeah, but I had to, honey, let me tell you something. I ran out. I got whatever groceries I needed, the usual groceries that I buy for the week, bought a little extra, got a little oil for the car, a little gas, a couple of candles, because they're saying we're going to lose power. I'm here in Virginia. So I got what I need. I got my reefer. Got my, my wireless charger. I'm to the good. You know what I'm saying? So before I get into the fool-la-la of the show, honey, let me tell y'all a little personal story I went through this week. So you guys know I'm back dating. So I'm on this app. I don't know if I told you, but it's called Tammy. And yes, I did light a cigarette, and we're only a minute and 55 seconds in. Sue me. So I'm on this dating app called Tammy, and I haven't really been paying attention to it because, I've had a lot going on in the last couple of weeks, which is why I'm coming to you guys a little bit late. And work's been really crazy, so I haven't really had time. But, I had a little time yesterday, during my pedicure and my manicure. Do you like my nails, darling? They finally had some good press-ons at the Walmart, darling. Yeah, shout out to Paint Lab. These are Paint Lab nails, by the way. Gorgeous, and they last up to 14 days. Shameless plug. So this younger guy, he's been talking to me for the last few days through the app. So he finally asked me for my number. So I give him the fucking number, right? Waits 2 hours to message me back on the app to tell me, after I gave him my number, mind you, you ain't got no iPhone. When I tell you, honey, the amount of disrespect that came through these thumbs, honey, I'm telling you, are we still doing that in 2026? Like, you don't want to talk to me if I don't have an iPhone? Ugh. And then I told my sister, and my sister was like, I can't even begin to tell you what I told the man, child. Oh, honey, YouTube would kick me off of here, but I've said worse things on here. But anyway, my sister said, well, maybe it's not that you don't have an iPhone. Maybe it's that he hasn't paid his phone bill. And he can only communicate with you via phone if he can use the Wi-Fi. And when you have an iPhone, you can't really talk to nobody else that ain't got no iPhone if you ain't paid your bill. I said, well, either way, honey, he should have been talking to me. I text that man back. I said, no, I have a Samsung Galaxy phone, and I also have 2 homes. What about you? And I don't even like doing that. I don't like doing that, but like when somebody asks me for my number and then they go to text and they realize I have an Android phone and then they hit me with the you ain't got no iPhone, that really pisses me off because most of y'all that got iPhones, let me just tell you, talk about a shit shack. Anyway, like, can we please leave the elitism back in 2025? You see what all it's getting us now. So, listen, before I get real deep into the show, I must take a minute to honor the now late, great Valentino. Valentino is one of just seems like all of the greats of our lifetime are gone. Like Karl Lagerfeld, Alexander McQueen, Mugler, Andre Leon Talley. Even though Andre Leon Talley was not a designer, but he was a he was a culture cultivator. Okay, within fashion, at a time when black men that looked like him, that acted like him, that were as it just was unheard of to have some. So I put him in the same vein as them, because it's the same kind of an impact, if not greater. But I woke up the other morning. No, I was actually at work the other morning, and I saw that Valentino had passed away. Now, he passed away in Italy, surrounded by family and friends. I believe he has two children, a boy and a girl. I think, I can't remember his name, and his late wife. Excuse me, and his wife. She's still alive. Surrounded by friends. He was 93 years old. Valentino rose to fame in the early 1960s. In Italy. He actually became the first Italian designer to show at Paris Fashion Week. He also rose to fame after, Jackie O was one of his first major celebrity clientele, if you will, after the assassination of JFK. So he's dressed so many people, so many beautiful gowns. I remember when the red carpets really used to be something. Honey, oh, I thought somebody was pulling up in my yard. I was, don't do that. Not these days, bitch. Don't do it. Cause I got something for you. Um, all the gowns that I'm sorry, all the gowns. Back in the day when the red carpet was really hot. Like when I was like, it was at its peak for me. I just remember like Julia Roberts in that gorgeous dress. And the one memory that I have of Valentino is his love for black women. I remember in 2019, and even though he wasn't the creative director, he still, these founders of these houses, they step away, but that's still their baby. You still see Jean-Paul Gaultier hovering around the atelier, so he never really went anywhere. And they had 43 black models, including Alec Gweck, Naomi Campbell, Adutta Catch, just to name a few, and that show was so significant. He also has his signature Valentino red, honey. Just, this is somebody that the fashion world nicknamed, the last emperor. Just the opulence, the grace, the elegance that was Valentino. It was one of a kind, and it will definitely be missed. So rest in peace, Valentino. So what else do we have? So listen, it was, men's fashion week in Milan, and it was men's fashion week in Paris. I have talked to you guys about kind of pulling back, and I definitely didn't pay any goddamn attention. I really didn't. I saw the clips online. Everybody's going crazy about the Louis Vuitton show by Pharrell, but, allegedly Pharrell performs and raises money for IDF soldiers in Israel. So there's that. No shade, but listen. Either get on the right side of history or get the fuck out of my face, okay? For real. But there was a lot of scuttlebutt over the latest Dolce and Gabbana show, which I wasn't surprised. This is just another example as to why we as black people, we as Latino people, Hispanic people, Asian people, I think it's really time to start pulling back. Hell, NATO was pulling back from the United States, honey. We might as well pull back too. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So take a look at this. Here's sort of like a preview for the
In a
collection.
global landscape increasingly shaped by uniformity, Dolce & Gabbana unveils The Portrait of Man, a collection dedicated to the singular identity of every man. The show unfolds through a sequence of micro-universes, each representing a distinct portrait of man: the introspective thinker, the creative visionary, the Mediterranean sensualist, the structured rationalist, the restless romantic. Not stereotypes, but human energies rendered with authenticity. The Portrait of Man asserts personal style as the ultimate act of individuality, an invitation to move beyond global homogenization and reclaim an elegant, deeply personal way of dressing. There is no single way to be a man. There are infinite possibilities. Each one deserves its portrait.
So everybody was outraged. I don't know if you noticed, but there was not a single black model in the runway show or the promo for the runway show. Are y'all really surprised? It's Dolce & Gabbana. And listen, I am a huge fan of their work in the 90s. I've been a huge fan of their work, in recent years. But, I've come to the realization that these people do not like us. I mean, hell, they dressed the Bozo Bezos bimbo bitch for her wedding in that tacky ass knockoff Grace Kelly wedding dress. I just think, I think the less we pay attention to it and the less we make it a headline, the more it'll go away. And even if it doesn't go away, if we're into our own thing, we won't even realize it. We won't even realize it. And you know what, Dolce & Gabbana, shame on you. For as many black people buy your crap, for as many black models that you have had in your ad campaigns, for as many black celebrities that have worn your garments on the red carpet and made them what they are, Beyonce, Naomi Campbell. I mean, and to be honest with you guys, it's their fashion brand. They built it with their bare hands from the ground up. They can do with it whatever the fuck they want. We don't have to pay attention and we don't have to buy. So while all of y'all was worried about what Dolce & Gabbana was doing, I was captivated by the most recent collection. Hold on here. By Willy Chavaria, the Mexican-American designer who for the last, I would say, for me, for the last 2.5 years has been really showing out. And this collection here, baby, honey, absolutely fabulous. He had actors and actresses. You see Julia, what is her name? That crazy not Julia Stiles. What is her name? Julia Fox. Seen here. I mean, the proportions, the tailoring, the attitude, the print, the print just sort of like popped out at you. I mean, he is really setting the fashion world ablaze, and he's doing it on his own terms because not only are the clothes fabulous, but they're deeply rooted in Chicano Mexican culture. They're deeply rooted in fighting against injustice. Every collection for the past 2.5 years since I've became aware of him has been, it's always been a message behind it, whether it be unifying the people or saying we're not taking this bullshit anymore. Remember a couple of years ago, he did the show and he had the people laying on the ground, fighting for the immigrants. And it's so many designers that are out here just la, 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 as if everything in the world right now is normal. And Willy Shavaria is not playing that game. And by not playing that game, he's actually winning the game. So I have to give him huge props on this. This collection was absolutely stunning. And I just love just look at the stadium full of people. Like, everybody loves Willy. Absolutely phenomenal. It was a whole theater production. So huge congratulations to Willy Shavaria for showing in Paris Fashion Week and, standing up for what's right and not being a puss ass bitch. Speaking of fashion, honey. I find this one to be absolutely hilarious. So, I have been quite critical. I'm gonna light my reefer for this. I've been a little critical of Kai Cenat and his while he was on his streaming service, the blatant homophobia, the constantly making black women and black queer people his punchline for views and notoriety. And lately he's been really going through it. They made an absolute fool out of all the black streamers at that hot mess of a streamer awards. Kai Cenat recently announced that he will no longer he's stepping away from streaming after he had a little bit of a spat with the owner of Twitch, who basically told him, bitch, I don't really need you. You ain't shit to me. But it's basically what he said. And now, and he also talked about, he broke up with his girlfriends and he's going through, some things mentally, which I'm not going to make fun of. I'm not going to throw shade at because I suffer from, mental health issues myself. Listen, look at the world we live in. Who the fuck doesn't? But so with all that being said, he is making a career shift into the fashion world, honey. He's coming out with his own fashion line. Now, what I will say positive about it is, I have really seen him, he's at Paris Fashion Week. He's taking it very seriously. He's on the sewing machine. But, in the same breath, I can say, we've seen a lot of people get on sewing machines that don't know shit about it. We've seen a lot of people start fashion brands and, they slap their name on it and they walk away. They collect the coin. They walk out on, they do the finale walk with the models, and then the atelier doesn't see them again until the day before the next show. But the thing that disturbed me the most about this is for how much him and the other black streamers sat up on Twitch and made fun of queer black people. And now that they have shown their true colors and that they don't really give a fuck about you, now you're enlisting the help of image architect La Roche, stylist extraordinaire, who is also, and I don't know La Roche's sexuality. I remember in an interview a couple years ago, he was saying, he's not really into dating anybody. Like, it was almost like he was saying he was kind of asexual, but it's very clear that he's some sort of queer. I mean, I don't know if that's appropriate to say, but I always think of him as a queer identified individual, even though he's not into dating people right now. So his sexuality is very up in the air, and it's really none of our business. But he is a black man with a beard and a wig who dresses effeminately, which is exactly the kind of man that Kai Cenat and those streamer boys poke fun at, make fun of, and all throw shade at, and make the punchline constantly. And now that the white man has put you in your place and you've thrown a hissy fit and quit, now you need our help.
And I want to do it the right way. Like, I'm not. This is
well, look a damn, look a damn,
and trying to money grabbing shit. I want to build this community.
And to me, it's just a slap in the face. Like, and no shade to La Roche, but La Roche, you know what this guy's about. And listen, hey, if that's what he wants to do, then somebody should come out and help him.
You know what I mean? And for the next 5
I'm not going to belittle this young man. I am not going to cancel him because he's young and dumb. I mean, this is the same kid, he's on there talking about he doesn't know how to read that good, and, black Americans have no culture. He's young and stupid. But I'm not going to cancel him because he's still a black person. But if this ever comes across your screen or your feed, Kai Sanat, I do, however, take issue with you making queer black people the punchline, and now that those white people and the powers that be at Twitch have made a fool of you, you need the help of, and this is no shade to La Roche, I'm calling it how they call it, a nigga with a beard and a wig. It is a little like, oh. It's the same with, these black athletes that get with these hoity-toity, potato chip-shaped white girls. And then all of a sudden, they want a Jonathan Majors and swirl back around and get them a sister after they done escaped prison time. And it's like, it leaves a real nasty taste in my mouth. But if he is serious about getting into fashion, I hope that he does take it serious, and I hope it goes well for him. Because, listen, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. And those people, what I will say about Kai Cenat is those people definitely used you. I mean, we didn't really know. I didn't really know nothing about. I still really don't know nothing about Twitch and Monkey and all of that. But I didn't really know about Twitch until I started hearing about this little black kid from New York named Kai Cenat. And I Show Speed. Those two. You damn near built that motherfucking platform to what it is today, to the popularity that it has today, and he basically spit in your face and called you a jungle jigaboo. He might as well have. So I understand your frustration, but never forget where your bread is buttered. Because one thing that a lot of queer black people are is forgiving. Remember that the next time, if you ever decide to go back on Twitch, remember that when you see your black counterparts or your former black counterparts on Twitch making fun of niggas with beards and wigs, because it's a nigga with a beard and a wig that has the talent and has the expertise and has the knowledge and the education to help you when you need it most. Anyway, so what are we talking about next? So the Oscar nominations are in, and Sinners raked up, making history as the most Oscar-nominated film of all time, with a whopping 16 nominations, including a Best Actor nomination for Michael B. Jordan, including a Best Director nomination for the amazing Ryan Coogler, and also another history-making nomination with costume designer Ruth E. Carter. This will make her the most nominated black woman in Oscar history, with a whopping 5 nominations, and I believe she's won 2, both for Wakanda and Wakanda Forever. She is just a dynamo. I love her work. I mean, and Sinners, Sinners came out at a time when I was still deep rooted in religion. And now that I'm starting to see what it really is. I'm more of a spiritual person. So I ended up seeing Sinners because, Sinners had a lot of things about, oh, it's the devil and voodoo and hoodoo. But when you learn about voodoo and hoodoo, it's a part of our history, and it wasn't something that was used for evil until the colonizers came and told us what it was and what it won't gonna be without even knowing us for 5 fucking minutes. But hey, you know how that go. That movie was insane. And I am not a movie person. If it ain't an old Lifetime movie or an erotic thriller, I'm not really interested. Honey, and Michael B. Jordan played 2 characters in that movie. Nailed each one. From the music to just everything, the outfits, the dancing, it was really an experience. And I wish I had went to the theater and saw it. Now everybody is, the Golden Globes has, the last episode, I think the Golden Globes were premiering as I was taping. So I didn't get to do a follow-up about the Golden Globes. Timothy Chalamet beat Michael B. Jordan. And Timothy Chalamet, who cares? It's a movie about ping pong. It's Morty! Will you please get your ping pong balls off the kitchen table? It's one of those type of movies. Who cares? Sinners was the better movie. Marty Supreme has only been out for a week, but this is mainstream. But we also have the NAACP Awards coming up. We have people like Joyanne Reed, Don Lemon nominated. Again, the entire cast of Sinners. Tiana Taylor is nominated for a couple of NAACP awards for not just her acting, but also her music. Well, she is also up for a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Oscars. She won the Golden Globe. Looked absolutely stunning. She was my pick for Best Dressed. But I didn't know what the movie she was in was about, and apparently she plays some seductive ebony Lolita temptress between these 2 white men, and it's like everybody's saying it's like Halle Berry and Monsters Ball all over again. Listen, when black people win the Oscars, what did Halle Berry win the Oscar for? What did Denzel Washington win the Oscar for? What did Monique win the Oscar for? Listen, if you want the accolades, sometimes you got to play the game. And from what I hear, she wasn't in the entire movie either. She wasn't even in the entire movie, but her performance in the movie was that good. Tiana Taylor has been around, me and her about the same age. I think she might be a year older than me. She's been around since I was 16. From MTV's My Super Sweet 16 to an Oscar nomination, give that girl her things. Not everything needs to be picked apart. So, congratulations, Tiana Taylor. Even though I do have, a couple of reservations about some of the people that you be, around. But that's none of my business here or there. Still, congratulations. And congratulations to Ryan Coogler. And I love the way he treats... Oh, I just really drooled. Excuse me. This list... Honey, I love the way he dotes on his wife, that Ryan Coogler. And he really, I think he won at the Golden Globes, and in his acceptance speech, he really gave her flowers. And, talked about how she had been down with him from before. And I really, I admire couples like that. Ciara and Russell Wilson give me that same kind of vibe. I really, and I love that he took his moment to give her moment. This is not just my wife. This is not just the background to my foreground. This is my rock. But she's also a genius in her own right, because she produced and had ideas and was working on the movie as well. So huge congratulations to Sinners. This is going to be a quick episode, y'all, because it's getting cold and I'm hungry. And I have to be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning on a fucking Saturday. But listen... Gotta make that cheese, baby. I was gonna do this show without doing politics, but honey, when is enough gonna be enough for you crackers? So we kidnapping kids now? A 5-year-old boy? A 5-year-old boy? You got not. I don't even know which way to go with this here. This cigarette won't bite. All right, let me get a different one because this one is some bullshit. I don't even know which way to go with this, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But first this week, Donald Trump got up in front of the AU. I think it's the AU or some. All the European countries was there, and he got up there with a shitty fucking pamper and was talking about a whole bunch of nothing. The man is completely out of his mind. JD Vance's wife, Usha, is pregnant. Okay? And he's getting ready to leave her and pretend to be with Erica Kirk. Whole time, him and Marco Rubio are bumping knuckles. Catch that too. I mean, when is enough? You dragging people, you busting in people's house, people trying to wash their ass, you dragging them out in negative 30-degree weather with no clothes on, fresh out this. What the fuck are y'all doing? Leave us alone. You want to take over Greenland, you want to take control over, you can't even control your bowels or your emotions. I am so tired of getting up every morning, and let me tell you something. I'm tired of you Democrats too. Fuck you, Cory Booker, and fuck you, Hakeem Mumblemouth Jeffries, and fuck you, Chuck the Cuck Schumer. You all, the three of y'all, are the ones that are really pissing me off. And them 7 Democrats that sat up there and voted to give ICE more funding, whose side are you on here? Who should we be voting for? Because I think Bernie Sanders, we need the second coming of Bernie Sanders to step to the front because y'all ain't doing it for me. Y'all are not doing it for me. You mean to tell me y'all got all these headlines running around and we're in the middle of an Arctic blast? Who's gonna help us? Where is the government funding coming from if this shit is really as bad as they say and there's damage and electrical damage and sewer line damage? Who is gonna help us? If we can't trust the people that we pay to keep us protected, and then I hear that we done been dropped from the United World Health Association. What? They are slow. They are quickly turning this country into Russia and Germany. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing this fat, dirty, shitty booty pamper bitch on my timeline, on my TV. That's why I don't even be on Instagram anymore. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I haven't been doing any fashion reels. I shot a whole reel. I didn't even post it. I just cannot be bothered. It is stressing me out and making me upset. God damn. And all of this because you don't want nobody to find out that you're into the snuffity snuff with the kids. We already know that. We know y'all are some nasty, stinky, pinky playground motherfuckers. We know. And the one thing that I'm noticing, and I think I said this the last episode, but I'm going to say it the fuck again. Y'all are not even intelligent enough to be doing the shit that you're doing. We see through you. Why is she here, Ike? We see you. Y'all don't know how to keep y'all secrets to yourself. Y'all, girl, they busted up in that man's place and took him out in his shower thinking that he was some registered mass sex offender. Whole time, the person they looking for is already locked up in jail. You got pastors out here being a part of ICE. You got MAGA Mammy Minaj and her crooked ass cheek having ass calling for the jailing of Don Lemon for covering it. Oh, honey, I don't know what they do in Trinidad for their news, but over here, journalists, they put boots on the ground. Illegal immigrant Minaj, wife of a sex offender Minaj, sister of a pedophile Minaj, allegedly. Girl. And Stephen A. daughter, oh, don't even get me started on that Jungle Jigaboo. I don't have time. A fucking clown. But I want to say this. Huge shout out to the people of Minnesota. The people of Minnesota ain't playing with y'all. MAGA, the people that voted for MAGA and voted for Trump, they did not vote for this. You have every European country pointing their all guns ablazing at us because you got a shitty booty bitch with dementia standing in front of every country in the world making an absolute fool out of this country. And it's an embarrassment. And you motherfucking Republicans, y'all ought to be ashamed of your goddamn self. And I'm going to tell you something. You better do something, and you better do something quick. Because he is not going to save you. He is not going to save you. He could care less about he don't even care about his own fucking kids. His parents didn't care about him. His mother was a drunk. An unstable bipolar drunk, allegedly. And his daddy was just like him. Y'all sat up there and talked all that shit about Joe Biden. You know what? Joe Biden might have took a while to land the plane, but when he landed it, you knew what the fuck he was saying. I don't even know what the fuck this motherfucking cracker is talking about. Shaped up like a double quarter pounder with cheese. But you know what? I see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we're going to be okay. We might be uncomfortable for a while, but we're going to be okay because they tried to wipe us out with the Nazis and that. They tried to wipe us out with slavery, all these genocide, and people are still living their lives. Y'all not stopping shit. Anyway, y'all be safe out here in the snowstorm. Stay home, stay bundled up, and make sure you eat good. Love you. Ciao.